Hey y'all, we're getting ready to finish our end of the second week of cowboy stuff. And it's not, some of it's cowboy stuff, some of it's just old. Today we got, I don't know, Civil War and Canadian cowboys. I don't know, the whole thing's come off the rails. We are gonna be playing some music today. The songs for today are Red River Valley and Tom Dooley, and both of them are just waiting for parody. So we'll talk about some of that stuff today. Let's see, link, edit, settings, open a new window, update. All right, so we posted on the website. The website's jollyrogerukulele.com. That's where you get the sheet music and the daily schedule. Then I also tweet this every day for no purpose whatsoever. And so I'm going to put on here https://jollyrogerukulele.com. And then I'm quite enamored with our graphic for the week with the hippie looking cow. And he's right here. Dun, dun, dun. So that puts him on Twitter. And cowboy music for hippies. We're the hippies, by the way. I don't know if any of you know. Nobody asked about that, but that's the truth. Why is that up there twice? All right, we've posted. Okay, so goodbye Twitter. Close that box down. Let me double check that the link is working properly, so that because we don't want to run short. We need 30 people in here singing Red River Valley. Oh my God, what I make you guys play sometimes ridiculous. Okay, remember I also gave you La Vie en Rose and Moon River when you're working on these songs. So don't run me down too much. Let's see here. We'll start with Red River Valley because of the two, it's less annoying. Who's all's in today? Lynn is in. She's good. She's mooing. She's here, happy to moo. She's mooing us. Sandy in from the Yoop, Upper Michigan. I finally learned what that meant. Upper Peninsula, UP, the Yoop. I would never have put that together, but thank God Sandy got me straightened out on what Yoop means. Janice is in. She's really in the Yoop. Storm force on the island. Oh no, another gale-like day today. When you're in Scotland, you don't think it's on an island, but when you hear Janice talking about it, you're pretty sure they're on an island. Yeah, it's rough up there, Janice. Glad you're here. I think it's a Scottish cow that we're actually using for our graphic this week. I'm convinced of it because we saw cows that kind of look like that when we were in Scotland. Vic, sound is good. Up in cloudy Eugene. Good to have you, Vic. Kat's in. She's in from Texarkana. Looked like you might have some weather headed your way again, Kat. I couldn't tell from the morning news whether it was going to hit you or not, but it looks kind of iffy down there. Bruce is in from beautiful downtown Virginia. Second shot in. Ooh, cowboy music, life is good. So, right? I guess that second shot, my first shot, hurt my arm like crazy. So I'm concerned. A couple weeks I get my second shot that I'm going to be down for the count. So we'll see. We had a couple of young men here in the building that we know that they got their second shots and felt terrible afterwards. So we'll see. But they were getting they were getting AstraZeneca. I'm getting Moderna. So who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Linda's in from Vancouver, back in the fray. Yeah, I know we missed you. Sunshine on the way. Clouds are beginning. Yeah, right. Spring is arriving in Vancouver. Linda's here from Colorado. More torture and fun. Today's ukulele music is not torture. The lyrics are. Let's just be straight. Let's see. So we're having a perfect day in Colorado. Mostly sunny, 70 degrees. It's a perfect day, I think. Terry is in from across the street. Nice day in Cheeseman. Yeah, over the weekend it was so funny. We had 80 degrees, and when Donna and I drove past Cheeseman Park, it looked like Fort Lauderdale Beach. Every single person in Capitol Hill was out at Cheeseman Park. Let's see. Jack and Barbara are in from Illinois. Glenview, it's cloudy up in there today. Okay, all right. Elizabeth is in from northern Colorado. Red is here. Red is ready. Yesterday you got the drums. Today you get this. This is just has little. This has just music notes. Let's hear what it sounds like. Alright, we should use that every day for you, Red. Red is in the house. Patricia is here. Evelyn in from Ecuador, 69 degrees. Raining right now. Rains a lot in Cuenca. Nancy is in from Florida. She was either really late to the previous class or super early to this class. Glad to have you, Nancy. Janice. Highland Cow. It's called the Highland Cow. Oh, very nice. So now we have an official name for it. So we have the Highland Cow. All right, cool. So today we have a Highland Cow, we have a French-Canadian song, cowboy song, and then we have a Civil War song. So we're very multicultural here. Carol is in. Hi from windy but sunny mountains up in Colorado. Michelle in from Rockaway Beach up in Oregon. Diane is back in the saddle again. You know, that's one of the songs I've never done is Back in the Saddle. That's one of the things I want to try to get done one of these days. Carol, you might want to take the day off. Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'll probably put a note on the website. I'm getting my second shot. I may or may not be here, right? We'll make plans for that. It's not this weekend. It's next weekend. I think. 83 and sunny in Florida. Mostly perfect, right? Mostly perfect. That's good. And Glinda is tenting today. Nice. All right, Red River Valley. I had never heard this song until some people in our ukulele orchestra wanted to do it. And they sang it, and they seemed like they meant it, and they just had a lovely time. And so here we go. Let's do the ukulele version first. Usually it's easiest to talk about that since most of you are on ukulele. And then we'll toss in a round of it on baritone as well. Chord, G chord. From this valley they say you are leaving. I will miss your bright eyes and sweet. And then you go to your D chord, smile. And then we got in the middle of the measure here a little D7. And you'll hear that a lot in cowboy music, that little da-dum, right? And if you're singing, you could just use the easy D7. Doesn't sound quite as good, but you could do that. For they say you are taking the sunshine that has brightened our pathway a while. So come sit by my side if you love me. Do not hasten to bid us adieu. See, it's adieu. Therefore, you're like adieu. No cowboy would ever use the word adieu. So you know all of a sudden, oh, it must be Canadian. They're using fancy words. Adieu. Adieu. Just remember the Red River Valley and the cowboy who loved you so true. That's the song. Okay, there's nothing there. All right. When we get to Tom Dooley, we'll talk because Tom Dooley is a song that makes me rage with anger. We'll talk about transposing because all of you guys need to be able to do that a little bit. You don't have to be great at it. I'm not great at it, but I do have the basic. Because a lot of the work we do is folk music, and a lot of this, you need to be able to transpose because sometimes you're going to get it in a key. If you only go to ukulele strum-alongs, you're going to get a whole lot of stuff in C, right? A whole lot of stuff in C. And at some point, it's just not going to fit your voice, and I want you to have some skills in place to be able to switch that. But if we were going to transpose this one, he grabs the ukulele as if he's going to do something. Your main chord is G. So you think about it, okay, and already hopefully you're counting it out. If your main chord is G, that means your fourth chord is C, right? G, A, B, C, and your fifth chord is D. And guess what three chords are in the song? You got G as your main chord, D comes up, D, D7. When anything that's on 5 can be that chord or the 7th chord. So D and D7 are both fine. And then the fourth chord, that C, it only shows up for one measure, but sure enough, there it is. Okay. So again, if you don't like this key as a singer, you think about what are your ukulele keys? A, C, D, F, if you don't mind B flat, and G. Those are your 5 ukulele keys. So if we decided, well, this probably let's try it in D, G and A, right? So then you would go, from this valley they say you are leaving. I will miss your bright eyes as we smile. Okay, and now you're in D and A. I would say probably if I was going to get a bunch of singers together who were not trained, right, just like singing, D is usually a safe bet. Most, for some reason, it just really works with the human voice. I don't know why, but for men and for women, the key of D is usually a safe bet. C has a tendency to be too high. I think G has a tendency, I think G is usually okay. Sometimes this feels a little high. F is my preference for most all singing for myself, and I don't lose too much sleep over B flat showing up. But you'll find keys that kind of fit your voicing a little bit better. But if you're getting a bunch of people together, probably D might be your first choice. If you're pulling stuff off the internet and you're like, oh, I'll just go to Ultimate Guitar and grab some song sheets, I would tend to go toward D if we're just going to sit around and sing. Instrumentally, of course, you got to know how to play in all of these keys, and so that's that. Chris is in, Fran is in, and Ronnie is also in. So, all right, guys, let's play the melody real quick. A lot of you guys may not know. I didn't know this melody. From the top, just the melody. And baritone players, if you grab your chords. 1, 2. 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. Two. 3, 4, 1, 2. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 4, 1, 2. And then let that ring for a while. That sounds like Cowboys, doesn't it? Right? So he's going to watch her go. She's very sad about it. He loves her. I think is the male narrator, we'll assume. And she's taking the sunshine from the valley, right? He's just remember the Red River Valley and the cowboy that loved you so true. So we're assuming, based on tradition, that a young lady is getting ready to leave the valley, and this cowboy is super sad about it. All right, get over yourself. Welcome back, Linda and Jacqueline. I just got dose number 2 of Pfizer. Yay, nice, guys! You guys are knocking it out. It's very exciting. We're gonna have everybody vaccinated. We're gonna preserve all of the ukulele players forever. All right, Tuff Uke. Again, baritone players hang out on chords. Ukulele players. I think that last year when we started, I think we did this last year, and I think this is when we introduced painful uke, right? Which at the time was a novel idea, which was to play a note on play something on every quarter note. That's what my thought was. When I pulled this up, it had a painful uke version on it, and I looked at it, I'm like, well, that's not even that painful. It's just every quarter note. And then I thought, well, maybe this is what we use to learn what painful uke is and learn what fingerstyle is. So what I did is I just copied that onto Tuff Uke and got rid of painful uke, because You're just that good now, right? And so you're going to have lots of decorative notes in between every quarter note, or not in between every quarter note, but at least on every quarter note, there's going to be something, with a couple of exceptions. And so when you see something like all these extra decorative notes, you're going to be thinking, all right, I can approach this with thumb and then get my thumb on there as a rest stroke, or I can play the whole thing with my claw and keep the notes sort of flowing smoothly. So I want to play it both ways. So the first time through, I want you to play with your thumb. That way you're usually able to pluck it out and understand how the song works. And then when we get around to the second time, grab your claw and try it that way. It's going to have a very different feeling both ways. I have a tendency to play with my thumb because I think it sounds prettiest on ukulele in most cases. But that doesn't mean I'm telling you to do that. I'm telling you that that's just a preference that I have. For you, you want to have both tools really solid in your toolbox, so that whatever the song is, and you're like, maybe I'll try this one plucking, maybe I'll try this one with thumb, and most songs you'll be mixing it up a little of both, right? Hey Pam, welcome in. Terrific weather up in Connecticut again today. Beautiful. All right, so first time through, try it with your thumb. Second time through, try it with your claw. Baritone players, if you'll just give us some sweet G chords and all that, and make it beautiful. From the top, 1, 2. Beautiful. I'm not positive if there are more verses to that. I think there might be, but it's certainly a song where you should just write up your own verses, right? You don't have to do what whoever wrote this is long gone. The melody's good. The melody's good, right? It makes you feel like, yeah, that's happening. And actually, the general thought behind the song is actually pretty good. I love you, but you're taking off, and I just want you to remember me, right? That's a nice sentiment. So kind of a pretty little tune, not a ton there, but really, really something you could turn into something that's kind of fun to do. And I think if you're thinking, you know what, I'm going to have a night of cowboy music, this would be one people really enjoy singing. Hey, y'all. Dennis walks in, he's got his full-on cowboy. Not only that, but he's from Canada, right? So he's legit. All right, welcome in, Dennis. All right, Red River Valley baritone version. Let's go grab this. I don't see anything challenging on the sheet music there. I think I wrote it correctly. All right, same exact thing on this one. Now here's where things get interesting. I just was talking, just running my face like, hey, in the key of D. You know, most people will be singing. Ukulele players, you're going to be playing in the key of D. D chord is right there. Okay, that's your D chord. Your A7 or A7. A7 is here and A is there, of course. We've been doing a lot of work in A lately. And then you have your G chord down there at measure 11. And so you'll be playing with that one. Now, as I'm playing the melody and the tough uke, and us baritone players are working our brains out, ukulele players, you guys are just there singing and strumming, right? And find out if singing in the key of D over a baritone ukulele doesn't work out. It probably will. It's really interesting how the key of D just tends to fit this human voice pretty well. And so see if it makes sense for you. Okay, baritone players, we're going to play. If you're newer, you play a melody. If you've been around a while, let's play the tough uke. And again, same exact story. Thumb through the first time, it's going to sound cool. Second time through, go to your claw just to get practice with doing that. It usually and then with most songs, a mixture of claw and thumb is going to be the right answer, but not always. Not always. You can watch me 80% of the time. Thumb is the right answer. Here we go. From the top. That might be generous. Probably 90%. From the top. 1, 2. Isn't that lovely? Or probably a low D on that one. So we think this song was written by a Canadian cowboy, and as you know, as Americans, we have this vision of what Canadians look like, right? So he was probably a very tall guy who wrote that, and he was probably dashing and handsome, and he was probably well dressed, and he was watching his the young lady that he loves leaving the valley, and he was very sad about that, so he wrote a song for her. Isn't that a nice melody? I really like this song. I like to make fun of the song mostly, but I really like the song, and I think a nice peaceful song. You could play it faster, obviously, but I think, I don't know, it's just kind of nice. So yeah, so there's that, the Red River Valley. Maybe go check and see if there's additional lyrics for it. Now, yay Canada, yeah, right. Oh Canada, da, 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 da. So there we go. Now, onto a slightly more annoying activity. Let's go grab Tom Dooley for baritone. Since we have baritones out, let's go do Tom Dooley. So Tom Dooley was a Civil War soldier, and this was a big deal in his trial. Apparently, that if you were fought in the Civil War, you got a free pass with murder. Apparently, he didn't get a free pass. There was something happened, and Laura Foster was killed, and then Tom Dooley was somehow involved with his sister and all this stuff. And anyway, they ended up stringing him up, and he there's some discussion about where the song came from and whether Tom Dooley himself wrote the song and all this stuff. The internet is wildly unclear, but what is clear was at the time this is a rather sensational trial. Like the evidence was shaky and all this stuff, but somehow he and his poor Laura Foster, who's dead, and the sister were somehow something happened, and anyway, Tom Dooley got strung up for it, and it was a national sensation and on all the newspapers and all of this stuff. And there's actually a Tom Dooley art museum that exists to this day, which is really weird, but that's what's going on. That's the Tom Dooley thing. Now, the reason I like to do this song is people actually like the melody. The melody is solid, you know. And da da dum 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 da ba 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 bum 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 ba bum ba bum 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 bum. Ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum. That's a solid melody, right? That's pretty good. And then the Kingston Trio, I'm too young to remember them, but they apparently made a ton of money off of this song and had to end up gotten sued for copyright and the whole thing. They don't even necessarily know who wrote this thing, but somehow they ended up getting sued for copyright and lost and had to pay this guy who it's quite clear he is the descendant of a guy who did not write the song, but still somehow they managed to get some of their Kingston Trio money out of them. So it's all a mess. What we study this song for, Linda says, probably Alberta. Yeah, right? For a while we had a guy coming in, logging in from Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada, way up north, right? And one of these days I want to go to Calgary. That's one of the things I want to do, but I haven't got there yet. Anyway, Tom Dooley was escaped to Tennessee, and somebody and the local guy Grayson turned him in, and all that stuff. So the song whatever. The song is whatever. We learn it. We study this because it's a 2-chord song. Okay, so ukulele players, grab your G chord, and G chord is here, and D7 is here, of course. G D7. So it's easy for you. Baritone players, you're on G and D7. Okay, so let's sing it, and then we're gonna transpose it into all of the other keys. Okay, not all of them, all of the main ones. So G chord, please, and here we go. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. And then it repeats for a while. Okay, so those are your chords. Now we use G, B, C, and D7, right? So let's go through all of the ukulele-friendly keys. Is A a ukulele-friendly key? Heck yeah. So what's your buddy? A, B, C, D, E7. Okay? So on ukulele, A chord, E7, right? A chord, E7. Baritone players, A chord, E7. A chord, E7. Those are good chords, right? So let's do it that way. A and E7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. Now, and then your thought is that easier to sing in A or in G? It doesn't. And some of you will have one answer, and some of you will have the opposite answer. But one of those keys is better for your voice. Okay, so A works. Okay, is B a good key? Nah, we don't even know what a B looks like. B flat for sure is evil, right? We hate B flat, so we would never willingly play in B flat unless Gary makes us. So then we skip the B's. C. C is a ukulele key, right? So we're going to C, and so you're supposed to be already thinking what goes with C. D, E, F, G7. Okay, so ukulele player, C, G7. Okay, that's your home planet. Baritone players, we love this one. C, G7, C, G7. Let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. Now that's how you will sing it at any ukulele strum along where they're doing cowboy music. Somebody's going to throw into the pot, let's do Tom Dooley, and it's going to be in the key of C, and you'll use those chords. Again, for some of you that's better singing, and some of you are not. Usually C's a bad key for me, but on this song it worked out okay. All right, C sharp, we don't even know what that is. D, yeah, D makes sense, right? So baritones, you're at D and A7, right? So D and A7 for baritone. And ukulele players are at D and A7. D and A7. Let's try that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. I like that one. Hang down your head and cry. Sorry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. Okay, so for me, probably singing, that's my favorite so far, is D and A7. E, man, that's crummy on ukulele. We can skip over that. It's pretty good on baritone. Baritones, you might think about playing an E, and then you have B7 as its friend. Those are pretty good baritone chords. Are not that great for ukulele. F's an okay key. F for ukulele, F. And then you're going to be playing G, A, B, C7, right? So F, C7. Okay. Baritone players, your F is terrible, right? F, and your C7 is even worse. Okay. If you're on baritone, just know that this shape here, it's just part of what you do, right? It comes up a lot. F and C7. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Well, don't switch chords yet. Ready? Go. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Oh, cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. Okay, that one's terrible for me. It might be pretty good on a ukulele, but not really great on baritone. F, and then we did G. So now you've transposed this into all these different keys. Gives you a chance to figure out, one, how you doing on your chords. Do you just know them? Do you just know like A, B, C, D, E, F, G? Are those major chords in your wheelhouse? The other one is the seventh chords. Do you know all of those seventh chord shapes? At this point, probably one of the things I find helpful is go grab 2 chord songs and then try all of your different keys. And you say, all right, if I'm going to do this song, it's a straightforward, not very difficult song. Do I know how to do it in A? Do I know how to do it in B or in B flat? I would never do that. I know how to do it in C for sure. Do I know how to do it in C sharp? No. D? Yep, D for sure. E? E is terrible on ukulele, right? So go through each of those, and that's what 2 chord songs are really helpful with. And if you need other 2 chord songs, you don't even have to go look at the sheet music. On the guitar website that I run, book 2, that's all it is 2 chord songs, and there's about 20 songs that most people know that are 2 chord songs. Among them, and by the way, if you ever want to be a hit at a party with children, take your ukulele and play Wheels on the Bus, and it's a 2 chord song, and kids love that song. I don't know why, and they're very specific about what order everything on the bus happens, and they all have all these rules about it. And again, find the keys that work for you. For most people, I think the key of D is pretty good. But it's not a bad idea just to practice that business of transposing, because inevitably you're going to get invited to do something eventually with a singer. And you're going to be background. You're going to be supporting that singer. And you're like, they will say things like, I want to do Over the Rainbow. And you're like, groovy. And we've been doing that since, that's why I bought a ukulele, was to do Over the Rainbow. And but you only know how to do it in the key of C, right? Because that's what Israel does it in. Can you do it in D? Can you do it in E? Can you do it in F? Can you do it in G? And the answer is no, probably, right? But if you take these two chord songs and learn the process, then it's just a matter of sitting down with your sheet music and handwriting in what you're really going to play, and it'll just set you up for success a little bit, I think. And that's why I don't like this song, but I love the fact that it's a two chord song and gives us a chance to really talk about transposing and will make you just feel more solid as a musician, generally speaking. This 1-4-5 thing really works. It works in Beethoven, it works in Bach, it works in Chopin, it works clear up until about 1950 when they start writing songs that are just breaking the rules to break the rules. But even all through jazz, that 1-4-5 program really plays an important role. And of course, there's other arrangements of chords. You can, in jazz, they a lot of times will do two, 1, 2, and 5, I think, 1, 2, and 5. But of course, they alter all of the tones and stuff in that jazz program to major and minor sevenths and stuff. But in any event, if you learn, you still have to learn the system in easier music and then apply the system to more complex music. So that's a long way around talking about Tom Dooley. Let's give this song a try. I'm still staring at the baritone music, so ukulele players, if you'll do in G and D7, and baritone players, you'll grab the melody or the Tuff Uke, and let's knock this out. Let's do it 2 times through. Thumb the first time, claw the second time. 1, 2, 3, 4. G minor on the end. I don't know why that's there. What is that doing there? That chord that's right above, it's snuck in there. My software. I really, really need a new computer. Ghost chords sneak in all the time. I usually remember to delete them. The G minor that's sitting in major 10, just cross that out. I have no idea why. That's not even any part of this song. Probably from a previous song I was working on. So there's Tom Dooley, right? Hey Christine, snowing up in Bozeman. Nice. All right, so let's. That's how it goes. Great melody, 2-chord song. Again, I think a lot of times when we are working on music, we want to work on this fancy music, right? You really want to go work on La Vie en Rose, but to get where that's going to go well, you probably want to go through some of this easier stuff to get your toolbox in place. All right. This is Tom Dooley in the key of C, right? This is what you'll do it at your ukulele strum along. I want to do it 3 times through. First time, ukulele players finally are like, all right, finally I get to play. I want to do first time with thumb, second time with claw, and then third time, you pick. Okay, you pick. Third time, try to add in some extra notes that aren't there. So if you are where's the 7? See, I've added in 2 notes at the end of measure 2, right? They're just on the quarter notes. That's a dumb idea. Don't do that. That'll sound terrible. Um, um, Janice says, I'm beginning to understand transposing. Hey, let's finish up with Janice. Let's make sure Janice has it. Okay. We're in the key of C here. Let's do it in the key of C. Sing it for me. Okay. And those of you who hate singing, hum. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tommy Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. Okay, that's in C. Okay? Without me telling you, let's do it in A. Okay? Right now you're thinking, what goes with A? 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 E7. Okay? Grab your A's and your E7s. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. Okay, that's much harder for me to sing it in that key than C. Okay, and again, that's not a one-for-one relationship. Just because we're struggling, just because I'm struggling to sing it in A on this song, doesn't mean I'm going to struggle in A on all songs. It just doesn't work as good as C in this song. All right, A, B, B's a weird chord. B flat's a weird chord. C we just did. C sharp is a weird chord. D, let's do it in D. All right, grab your D chord and your A7, D, E, F, G, A7. Okay, D and A7. Let's try it that way. This will work fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. Okay, and then so on. So you change all of the chords have to be changed when you're transposing, and they have to be changed in a way equal to whatever you're changing to. All right. So D, E's trouble on ukulele, right? So we don't like E. F isn't that bad if there's no B flat. So F chord and C7. Okay, right? F, G, A, B, C7. I'm not supposed to give you the answers. F chord. Okay. 1, 2, ready, go. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Oh boy, you're bound to die. So that works for my voice pretty well, probably better than C even. And so F chord would be, singing in the key of F would be a possibility. All right, and then we go to G. Right, you're not going to do F sharp, so you go to G. G chord goes with D. Okay, or D7, either one in this case. 1, 2, ready, play. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Hang down your head and cry. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Poor boy, you're bound to die. Right? So that's what you're working on when you're transposing. It's not a bad idea to do it on. It's a great idea to do it on easier songs with 2 chords, and then work into your 3 chord songs. Right. So even out of this little book, all of these ones that have 3 chords in them, they're the ones with the blue headlines in this little booklet that you guys have all been through. Instead of doing A, D, and E7, try C, G, C, F, and G7, or D, G, and A7, and go through and try a few of those. And I think what you'll find is you'll have keys that you tend to prefer. D and F are mine, and then you'll have keys that you tend to avoid. Right? Probably for me, A, E. But it's not a one-for-one. It's not always working perfect. Yay, Jenna's got them all right. Yeah, right? So that's how we begin with transposing. 2 chord songs, then 3 chord songs, and then try a lot to let anybody know that you know how to transpose songs, because you'll be transposing songs the rest of your life. But it does come up when you work with singers that they like, this key of C is just not working for me for Tom Dooley. And you'll be like, yeah, I know, I'm listening. Let's transpose it into something easier. And the more accomplished the singer is, likely the more insistent they will need to be in a key that works with their voice. More accomplished singers can hit lower notes and higher notes, but they also become very aware of what their best notes are within a particular song. And if it's not happening, it's not happening with them. All right, a lot of stuff on transposing, mostly to cover up the fact that I kind of hate Tom Dooley as a song. Let's play. Let's finish up. Let's orchestrate this thing correctly. Baritone players, you're going to be doing, you're going to give me 3 verses, right? And so you're going to give me either these beautiful, just fill it in, let the things roll. You're going to give me possibly a claw version, or you're in 4, right? Thumb, index, middle, ring. Thumb, index, middle, ring. Think about that. Hang down your head, Tom Dooley. Okay, so baritones, you pick your choice. Pick your poison. Arpeggios, plucking, or strumming. Ukulele players, you are also, if you are working on chords, hopefully you're not working on C and G7. If you are, we need to have a conversation. But you might be working on playing melody. Okay, remember, you've got 3s and you got 7s, and you're like, oh gosh, I'm all over the fretboard. So probably being in 3rd position, then you can pretty easily grab your 7s and just play the melodies. 3s and 7s. There's some 5s that sneak in there. It's an unusual arrangement of notes in the key of C. Actually. We don't see that a lot the way this is laid out. That's why the melody is kind of cool. And then the rest of you guys, Tuff Uke, okay? See how pretty you can make it? We'll do all 3 verses. 1, 2, ready, play. Hang down. I was going to sing and Tuff Uke. If you haven't figured it out, playing melody and playing Tuff Uke, you don't sing usually. Okay, singing is for a chord line. Okay, from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. To the top. Last time. Doesn't sound good either way. Tom Dooley. Tomorrow we have 13 songs or some insane number. 2 weeks of cowboy music, right? I'm ready to start eating meat again. That's how much cowboy music we've done. No, I'm not. Well, hamburger every now and then, right? Just once in a while. Just, once every 6 months you need a hamburger. Clementine, Colorado Trail, Don't Fence Me In, Down in the Valley, El Paso, Ghost Riders in the Sky, Happy Trails, I've Been Working on the Railroad, Red River Valley, Streets of Laredo, Tenting Tonight, Tom Dooley, You Are My Sunshine. We will go by request tomorrow, and so come in, study up tonight, be ready to play everything or anything. You could probably guess which ones will get picked and which ones won't, but if you try to guess them all, you will. It's like betting for the Final Four. You're probably going to not make it. So we'll play a little bit of that and whatever you feel like tomorrow. I was going to mention. The arpeggio, I am going to post revised versions of that. I spent a lot of time working on that arpeggio. I do not like the ending that I wrote for that, so I have come up with a new ending that is delightful. And so I'm going to repost arpeggiators, ukulele G minor and baritone D minor. So we will probably, you know what, let's do this. Let's not play the arpeggios tomorrow, and then I will just repost them for Monday. So we will not play the arpeggiator tomorrow. We will play Make It Better Bars, our warm up, and then we'll just play cowboy music. And then next week I will repost the arpeggiators with a revised ending on them, and then which is cooler. And then next week I want to clean up the songs from Mexico. Remember last summer or maybe last spring? I don't remember when we did them. We did traditional songs from Mexico, and they feel a whole lot like cowboy songs on some of them, but a couple of them are just so beautiful. So I want to clean those up. We'll be doing that next week, and all of those songs are awesome. And so La Cucaracha and Las Chipicañas, and I don't remember what they all are, but they're just really the birthday song is in there and all this stuff. So there's 4 or 5 really beautiful songs from Mexico, and we'll be tossing those in next week. And then I notice Michelle mentioned, hey, thanks for the transposing lesson. If you need more 2-chord songs just to practice on, go to the Denver Guitar Orchestra website, click on sheet music, and that book 2 is the one you want to look at. In book 2, all of those songs are 2-chord songs. All of them are 2-chord songs, I think, except for one. There's one song that's a 3-chord song. I think it's This Old Man. I think has 3 chords in it. But everything else on that list has just 2 chords. It's a great, and you don't even need to look at the song, right? You just use your ear, pick your chord set, and then play through it, just singing through it. And you're like, oh, should have changed my chord. And that gives you a chance to practice all of that back and forth stuff. And like I say, transposing, though, especially for those of you guys that like singing, you need to be able to, you're going to do some of that. So the sooner you get comfy with it, the easier it'll be. Let's see, where did we leave off over here? Laurel, hey, you made it in. Good to see you. Jennifer, Key of F is a great people. Yeah, F is, I'd say D and F are probably your first choices if you're going to be getting a group of together to sing. F, of course, on ukulele means you're going to be dealing with B flat often, but there's always going to be one chord in every key set that you don't like. So, but I think F and D, I agree with Jennifer right there. I think those are 2 keys that if I'm getting ready to put something together, those are going to be my first go-tos. Let's see. Michelle says, thanks for the transcript. Talked about that. Carol, Impossible Burger. Is it Impossible Burger? I did try an Impossible Burger once. I've had 2 of them. One was awesome and one was terrible. Probably the way they cooked it. It looks so kind of freaks me. I know, right? I always wonder about vegetarian food that they are making look like not vegetarian food. Why don't we just make vegetarian food different? We eat a lot of vegetables around here. It's all right. Jennifer, bye Jennifer, good to see you. Happy trails to you. Kat, thank you. Lovely cowboy songs. We got a good group of cowboy music this week, and hopefully you're having fun with it. And it doesn't turn you into a cowboy. It's just fun to play on ukulele, right? And I don't know, maybe it'll turn you into a cowboy. I don't know. Vic, good to see you. Thanks for being here. Elizabeth, thanks, Jerry. Should get El Paso. Down in the Lone Oaks and town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. It is an earworm. It's better to have that in your head, Elizabeth, than Tom Dooley. So stick with El Paso. If you got a choice, stick with Marty Robbins. He will be way better. You're in the shower. Down in the West Texas town of El Paso. Ugh, Gary. Oh, I know, right? Everything we do is an earworm. All right, Ronnie, good to see you. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Janice, enjoy that. Thanks, Gary. And I am not Janice. I shall not sing. I shall not sing. She says it in a Shakespearean tone. I shall not sing. I don't know. How do you do a Scottish accent? How do you get a Scottish accent? No. I can't do accents. I'll do a French. Ah, shall no sing. Sing a little bit, Janice. Come on. Your family called me and they said you have a beautiful voice. Sing, sing. Let's see. I think this singing was invented in Scotland. I think you're required. Patty, good to see you. Fran, fun day. Good to see you. Thanks, Fran. Linda, get that wrist finished. Linda, I'll see you tomorrow. Good luck making it through life in Hawaii. Chris, good to see you. So glad you've been showing up so often. Jacqueline, let's see. Thanks so much. About to blow. Oh, is it blowing down in Chatfield? I didn't know we were supposed to have wind. I don't know. I have the weather on all the time. I pay no attention. Lisa Hidalgo's just talking all the time. All right, Lynn. Every morning I wake up with a different tune that we've been doing. I know, right? I know. Everything we do is an earworm. I don't know if that's ever going to change. I know. I'm the same way. I'll tell you, one of these days when we do a composing class, we'll talk about the joy of waking up with a song in your head, and you're like, what the heck song is that? And then you're like, oh wait, that's the song I wrote. That's the great feeling. That's the day. You could just imagine Beethoven, just completely stone deaf, waking up in the morning and going, and Ode to Joy is just flopping around in his noggin, and he's wrote it. That'd be good. Not always the tunes we worked on this week. I know mine was Parting Glass. A couple weeks ago, I was busy doing something, and I got this tune in my head. I'm like, what the heck tune is that? It was Parting Glass, which I did not know until we just did it in this song, or did the song here. So yeah, you can't live here without being just a little cowboy. I know, right? You can't. Yeah, a little bit. You're sort of required, I think. Yeah, I think so, Kat. You got to fit in a little bit, right? You got to fit in just a little bit. You know, you put that you put on a belt buckle, and you're probably golden, right? You're probably golden. Terry, good to see you, buddy. Pam, good to see you. Glad you made it in. And Jennifer, yeah, singing makes your heart feel better. Yeah, you guys have heard me sing. You can't be worse than that. Come on, you know that. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. I will see all of you for concert tomorrow. Come dressed pretty and be on time. Talk to you then. Adios.